Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So I figured we'd look at the ass end of a Predator engine because that's what I think is going on with my son's Toyota. And you'll see why in a moment. So, sun's beyond the charge light. It is 4:15, 22.3 degrees Celsius, 49% humidity, which, welcome to 9/23 Wednesday, 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. By the way, I bought the material I'm going to be using to insulate the ceiling here. It's going to be a little different. I think you guys will find it interesting. And for some of you folks that are are trying to heat a shop, you guys might find it interesting also. So it's either going to work spectacularly well, or it's going to be crap and you guys are going to be glad you didn't do it. So we'll give it a shot and go forward, right? Always trying new and different things. Anyway, ran my son's car off to Toyota, and let me start the story really where it should be started. Car got called in for a recall for the ECM, the electronic control module. So my son brought it in for the recall and got the electronic control module done. Shortly after that, it started throwing these EVAP codes. So we brought it in and they changed the canister and charged him, I don't know, a lot of money, $500, $600, $1,000, whatever it was. Whenever he goes to Toyota, he seems to really get screwed. So, and that was about a year ago, only a few thousand miles. Now, he's kind of somewhat abandoned the car because he took his Suzuki to where he works, and he only is home part-time, so here his car sits and he's using the other one predominantly. And he got his car insurance bill and he's like, "Dad, I gotta do something with the Corolla." And I'm like, "Yo, you gotta check engine light on, and you should get it through inspection. It'll be worth a little more money." Turns out Kelly Blue Book for this car in good condition is about $4,100. Well, good condition means you don't have a check engine light on and the tires pass inspection. So you probably want to run it down closer to fair condition, but whatever. Right now, well, let's put it this way. Best case deal, the car is worth somewhere around $4,000. Anyway, bring it into Toyota, and this is their whole little thing. By the way, this isn't copyright for you clowns at Google, so you don't have to send me some all nasty violations. This is a service ticket for a car, not copyright material. Anyway, if you read through this whole thing, more or less, it's going to tell you that the, check engine lights on, and, I scanned it. It's got EVAP codes. It was here recently for EVAP codes. Did some research, and it turns out there is a technical bulletin, I think they call it a repair bulletin. By the way, for the colors, you might as well look at them. Look at something interesting while I rant and rave. So, the repair bulletin went through a bunch of codes and says, if you're having this problem, it's the ECM, and what it's doing is, I guess there's a three-way valve in there. I forgot what they called it. Yeah, I don't think I have it with me. No. There's a three-way valve in there that if the ECM grounds it and keeps it grounded, you're going to get these codes. So anyway, I mentioned that to her and showed it to her, and though she was a very nice young lady and maybe even had a little bit of car experience, she was a service writer and she didn't really know much about what she was going through. Anyway, car goes in, all my comments, you could read those if you get bored, and basically the outcome is they charged me with tax that came out to $118, and he reset my code light. He basically reset the system. So as he's giving me back my keys, I look at him, I said, well, it's very nice you charged me $120 to reset my light, but I didn't bring the car in here because this is the first time the light went on. Light's been reset a few times and it's come back a few times. I said, you know, I don't have a code reader, you know, for my amusement. I said, you know, the 171 code, I've seen them come and go, but I've not seen EVAP codes come and go. I see them come, but then they have a tendency to stay. So he tells me, honest, I found nothing, and I did a smoke test. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, smoke test. That must be when you light up a cigarette, fill your lungs with smoke, put your fingers over my nose, clamp my nose shut, blow smoke up my butt, and see if any comes out my ears. That's what I'm thinking the smoke test is. But I was good. I did not share those thoughts with him. He tells me, well, drive it around for a while. If it comes back, you know, we'll work on it some more. And I'm thinking, yeah, at $110 an hour with tax, $120 an hour, wouldn't you like to have me live here? Why not? It's on my dime. So quite honestly, I'm not quite sure what the hell to do with this car. I drove it about 30 miles, and I checked, and it's got no codes and no pending codes. I guess my frustration is I have a friend who wants to buy the car, but I don't want to sell it to him if it's going to be a piece of crap, because I don't want to hear anything about it. I can pop it up on Craigslist, but if you're familiar with Toyota Corollas, they're like the favorite car for a guy to buy for his daughter, right? And the last thing I need is some nice young lady to be, you know, driving around in a car, you know, seeing the codes come on and, you know, having to pay all this money for repairs, because instead of Toyota screwing me, they'll now be screwing her. I know I should just say, oh, the hell with it, and it's not my money, what do I care? But I'm not kind of like that, you know. I kind of believe in karma, and what goes around comes around. So, you know, and you start telling people a story. Well, you know, it had a check engine light on, but I brought it to Toyota and they fixed it, but they're not sure it's fixed, so it might come back, it might not. You know, the guy's like, you know, backing away from you like you just sprouted another head out your chest or something, and it's trying to bite at him. So yeah, I'm like scratching my head. I'm thinking, and the reason why I went back to the comments about the electronic control module, I'm thinking that from the stuff I read on the internet, and if I go through the timeline, that's when all this crap really started. I have the feeling there was nothing wrong with the canister. That's just something they normally like to do when a Corolla gets somewhere over 75,000 miles on it, 50 to 75,000 miles on it, and they like to blame it on the fact that you overfill the gas tank. You know, as you're filling the tank, you keep clicking it and putting gas into it to make it stop at an even dollar or something. They like to blame it on that. So, you know, there was probably a bulletin out for some, you know, 1972 Toyota Corolla or something, or T10 pickup truck saying not to do that. So they've adopted that as their standard reason why people have trouble with check engine lights. Anyway, my code reader, I saw your comments, Terry. This barely reads codes. It doesn't do any real-time analysis. He did drive the car around for, I don't know, looks like 6-7 miles. And he had the car. I got charged for an hour, but they had the car for almost 2 hours. So I'm hoping, or I'm hoping anyway, that he actually did something with it. He didn't just take a 2-hour lunch break, run it down to the local taco stand and, go in there and have lunch and come back an hour and a half later laughing that some sucker is going to pay the dealership over $100 an hour. One of the things that makes me suspicious with all this is I don't know how folks get paid elsewhere, but at most of the dealerships around me, the technicians get paid manual shop time. So let's say if you look in the manual, it says a timing belt should take 8 hours. So the technician, if the technician's pay hourly rate was $20 an hour, when he gets a timing belt job, they would give him $160, right? And he's got 8 hours to do it to make his $20 an hour. Now, if he does it in 6 hours, he still gets his 8 hours times 20, which is $160, but he made that in 6 hours. If he does it magically in 4 hours, right, he just basically made, twice his normal salary, right? So, I mean that's the game they play. They give you shop book time. If I were a technician and I had a client come in here describing, hey, I know you already did a canister. I don't think it fixed it. What did you guys do wrong, right? He can't sit there and say, oh, well, shop time, I'll just hit him for a canister and charge him for 3 hours. No, the clown already knows we screwed him on the canister. Well, I'll hit him for an ECM. Well, now the car is running, and if he's already mentioned that we, did the ECM as a safety recall. So he's going to get cranky about having to pay for an ECM. So we can't hit him for that. Well, let's hit Toyota for the ECM. Well, Toyota isn't going to just choke up an ECM unless we show up a long history of repeat problems. So, you guys can see where I am with this rig. I'm not quite sure what the hell to do. And to get it through inspections, I need to put a set of tires on it. So I got the first $120 out. Looks like I can score a set of tires for around $250. By the time I get them I'll mount them myself, but by the time I get them on there and balanced, the $250 is probably going to be on its way to $350. Probably, yeah. It's going to cost me at least a quarter a tire. So if I take them out to a shop to get rid of the old tire, to mount them and balance them, it's probably going to be at least $25 each. So I got $350 plus $120. I'm on my way to $500 to a car that I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do with. But in the meantime, what the hell is my son going to do with this car? I mean, obviously, we can put it on Craigslist for $1,000, and I'm sure somebody would snag it immediately. Even put it up there for $2,500, it'd probably get snagged immediately. I don't know, maybe that's the best solution for it. Tell people occasionally has problems, but right now it's fixed. People would see it and say, oh, I'm stealing a $5,000 car for $2,500. With my luck on that kind of stuff, by the way, they'd never have another problem with it. But it wouldn't be my situation whether they have a problem or not. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Welcome to the Horde, another hobby. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and remember to enjoy all your days. There'll be, I'm kind of grinding through these motors slowly. Well, not slowly. You guys already saw some videos. I'm kind of mixing them up while I have other projects to do. A lot of my projects I don't think will exceptionally interest you guys, so I'm just kind of doing a project and doing that and then doing a project, so it'll be a very mixed up week. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up. Remember to stay out of the buckwheat, and please, please enjoy all your days. Bye now.